Yeah, it's pretty sad that running around my stepmom's Pathfinder so much that people are starting to recognize me in it. I was playing electrician at my dad's house today because they got all their outlets in their master bedroom stopped working.
Oh, fun.
And yeah, I knew I called it after I went in and saw that it was all the receptacles and that they all had power going to them. I was like, you lost the neutral somewhere along the line.
Mm-hmm.
Where at? There's no way to tell unless it's at an outlet. We have to change the outlet and see if it's loose. And well, all the freaking outlets are backstab. Absolutely hate it.
Mm.
If you ever wire up a fucking receptacle, do not backstab it. Hook it around the hook or the
Mhm.
screws and tighten it down.
Yeah, that's how you're supposed to do it. It's like,
Well,
Yeah.
all these electricians these days are backstabbing everything. It's like, no, don't do that. That's how you cause a receptacle to fail quicker than anything else. Is backstabbing them damn things. So, um, the one that was in the question that where they thought the problem was, I told them that wasn't the issue, but they insisted I replace the receptacle anyway. So I did. Didn't fix the issue. So then I pulled the next one out. It's got
what's up, Michael?
three three hot wires, three neutrals coming into one receptacle. They have two backstab and one wrapped around the hook, and that spooked the shit out of me because I've never seen that before. And I was like, that could very well be where your problem's at because those are supposed to be spliced and pigtailed to the receptacle, not all three attached to it. Whoever did that's
Yeah.
a jackass.
Mhm.
So I had to run. I had to run to Walmart, and on the way back, as I'm crossing the highway, I'm sitting in the median, waiting to cross the other lanes. I hear train horns. I look up, and there's the fucking from my town, the tanker, sitting there, and they're all looking at me, grinning, hitting me with train horns.
Oh, I thought it's because the house caught fire.
That was my first thought when I seen it come down the road. I was like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, like it happened.
Well, I was like, "Oh shit!" They're honking at me because they know it was my dad's place, and I'm the one that did it.
Yep.
He's like, can you just change it and do it? It's like that goes against everything I was taught when I was doing my electrical construction classes. Like, you don't do that. You splice them and pigtail it.
Hmm.
Can you just do it? I mean, two will fell underneath one screw. I'm like, no, I'm not doing it.
I
So it was
know
like a half.
minimal about electrical like circuitry and stuff, and even I know that it needs to wrap around.
That's what she's.
It's gotta. You know, you don't just like jam it in there.
Yep.
A lot. You'd be shocked how many people do. And that was one thing we were taught when we were going through our class that he would actually fail us if we did it.
Yeah.
You never backstab.
But what they get away with is the fact that, like, that's not checked during home inspection.
Well, like that. My dad was saying he was like, a lot of electricians these days do it because they know that receptacle will fail quicker, so they have to come back out and replace it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why they do it, and it makes sense. But we were trained not to do it, never to do that.
Right.
And there's
But
so many of them out there just because it's quick and easy. Shove them in the back, tighten it down.
mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying is like that stuff should be part of a home inspection, but it's really difficult to do.
Well, I mean, it's not against code. That's the main issue. I mean, it's not in the code book. It is not. It doesn't say don't do that. But anyone who has any brains knows you don't like. Even you say you don't know much about electrical. You know you're not supposed to do that. But the problem is, it's not in the code book. Either nowhere in the code book does it say, well, as far as recent as when I was in school, there was nothing against it in the code book. So
Really?
highly allowed. It's there, so they're allowed to use it.
Yeah, it's not against the code, but it will cause issues. Yes, it will.
I told them flat out. I said honestly, I don't think it'll fix the issue. I still think because they live right in front of a field, so I fully believe that like a mouse got in the wall and like chewed in the wire or something. That's how.
Did
they
you
lost
not
the
do a
neutral.
test on it?
I don't know how to test. I have a tester. I know it's the neutral because I told them that's what it was before, and then I got one of them little plug-in ones where
Yeah.
it'll tell you, and there's no that they lost neutral. There's no neutral in any of them. So
What about
wherever
the
that
breaker?
What?
Do you have neutral coming out of the breaker panel?
Yes.
Okay.
So somewhere along the line, where I don't even know which one's the first receptacle in the room, like where the power from the breaker comes in at. The whole thing doesn't make any sense because the breaker says bathroom or master bath, master bedroom. You kill it, but you still have power to the receptacle in the bathroom, which makes sense to me because that's on the breaker with the other bathroom. That's one thing we were always trying to do. You put all the bathrooms on the same breaker. So that makes sense to me. But the reason why is the light in the master bathroom on the master bedroom? Then you have the ceiling fan that's not a part of either breakers for in that room, which makes even more just no sense at all. I was having a conniption. My dad was like, he was just trying to understand everything I was rambling on about. I was like, this makes no sense. I was like, the only thing that makes sense to me is someone came in after this house was wired up and put that bathroom, the master bathroom receptacle on the same circuit as the other bathroom. So like, that's the only thing that makes sense here. Everything else is just doesn't make any sense to me.
Yep. I'm currently learning that. We started going through the process because our fuse box stuff is not listed. So we don't
Not
know.
UL listed?
What?
Not UL listed or just
Like
labeled?
Sorry, not labeled on the panel.
I thought you meant
Oh,
UL listed, and it's like,
can-
wait, hang on here. That panel box is not UL listed, but it's a panel box. Okay, you got bigger issues.
Go to Walmart. They got them for $30. A little thing that you plug in an outlet, and then you.
So I
plug
got
it up to the breaker.
I got one of those,
There you go.
but I was just like, I was trying to plug in a security camera. And like couldn't do it into the outlet, and I was like, damn it, why isn't this working? And come to find out, there's only like, out of the 3 sockets in the bedroom, one of them is controlled by a light switch. And that's the one I was plugging it into.
Yeah, that's pretty typical for older houses.
No, but I'm just
I
like,
hate that dumb shit.
how annoying.
That was my first thought when he first told me that he wasn't getting any power to any of the receptacles in that room. My first thought was, I was like, "Is it on a switch?" And he said, "Yeah." I said, "That could be your switch could have gone bad." I said that was my first test, and then I tested the switch, and I was like, "Nope, switch is working fine." And I was like, "So you have no?" He said they didn't have any power because he was plugging stuff in, and nothing was working. So you can plug stuff in, doesn't work, but the receptacle's hot. So I was like, that means you lost neutral somewhere along the line.
Yeah, definitely.
So I told him, I said, there's one of 2 things it could be. I said, there's one of those freaking outlets around in the room. I said, honestly, I would love to just replace them all. I said, because if they're all backstabbed, I was like, that tells me these all need to be redone. I said, so I would love to come in and just replace all 5 of them. I was like, but that's not guaranteed to fix the issue. I said more than likely what happened was there was a mouse in the wall and chewed through the cable or something. Like that's
Yeah.
still my only thought.
It also depends on how it's wired too. Because some builders go around the walls with the wire, but also some go up into the ceiling to connect.
That's what he was saying. I'm not going to go up in the attic, but he was like he's like could be one of those wires up in the attic. So I think what they did is they ran them up through the attic and down into the rooms.
Yeah. Because ours is kind of a mix. Because this is a modular home, so everything is ran up to one point, then it goes down to the actual panel. It's very fun trying to fish a wire through the walls.
So I told him I was like, "You're gonna have to hire someone for that. That ain't for me."
I assume you do your pricing for little to no complaints.
What?
Your pricing your
Just price them between 30 and 50 cents over what I pay for them.
Oh, okay then.
Not try to price gouge people. Jesus.
I say your milk is $3.39. Mine's like $4.15.
Damn.
Bags of chips, it's $1 more. What I'm paying.
This motherfucker price gouging people in game, but won't buy anything that's not on clearance in real life.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's just living his fantasies.
I don't know why I laughed at that. I don't know why.
Because it's true.
I mean, my cherry pies are like $10.25.
So you're saying his
Your cherry pies are
Cherry pie.
$10.25.
Yeah, right now they're $10.20 on mine.
Damn.
Yours is $8.50.
Oh man.
his fantasies to be
You're
a
saying
Walton.
his is better than yours. That's what he's getting at.
You son of a bitch.
Most of
Take my
mine's
cherry
$1
pie.
or more. Each item.
What?
Fruit? Well, hell with that shit. I just
How you
made
get people to walk out?
Yeah, you're just like fruit. I'm just not gonna do it. Who
Yeah,
eats-
fruit is like 50 cents, if that.
Who eats fruit anyways?
My
gonna-
watermelon.
I'm gonna
is
put
not-
that at like I'm gonna put everything at $6.
My watermelon's like $7.99, I think. Retail price is $20. Oh, it's kind of fun looking through others.
You're gonna let this dude go through all your business? He's going through your finances and stuff.
You can go through mine if you want. I don't give a shit.
Well, yours obviously aren't as good.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not. Mangoes.
I mean, he started playing. Well, of course, he's been playing the shit out of it.
No, not as much as. No, not. Okay, maybe
Dude,
a
you
little.
were in there,
let's
like,
check
all
the
day the
hours,
other
dude.
day.
I will check the hours on it if you
Every
want me
time
to.
I opened my Steam, it was just like Brian's playing Grocery Store Simulator.
I will say 5 of those hours are AFK because I just left the computer on because I had to go do the other thing.
Your problem, there's still stats,
Okay.
and there's no way to verify that. So there'd be stats.
It'd be like GTA. You have your actual hours, and then you would have your Steam hours.
No. No.
45 hours or something.
No.
Oh, PJs, I saw the future you tonight.
That's scary.
Yeah, 44 hours is the total gameplay I have.
Man and woman walking
For this
child.
game.
They were all dressed up as Bluey characters.
I like it.
They come
Who's
walking
blue?
across the street towards us. I looked at my wife. I was like, "That's fucking PJs right there."
Yep.
What do you mean? I was like,
Absolutely love it.
In the onesies over there. She's like, "Well, what even is it?" Like, that's Bluey.
Yeah.
But the
That's
kid, of course, dressed up. My wife dressed up as McGonagall. I just went with my Ghost T-shirt. And as my kid was walking up to the one woman, she was like, "Oh, I love your costume." I was like, "Thanks." I picked it out myself. She didn't know how to respond. She just looked at me. And then as we were walking away, she was like, "Oh, the witch is dope too." And then the old guy on the porch, he was like, "The witch is dead too." And he's like, "What the
Oh,
hell is he
God.
talking about?" I saw I gotta find out where he got it from, and I'm getting me one. Dude from the fire school had a full blown suit that was nothing but jack-o'-lanterns. The pants, the jacket, the tie with a black shirt underneath.
Hmm.
Like, oh, I want that. Bright orange suspenders. You gonna play the song?
Ooh. Nah, because there's no like sharps or anything like that, so you can't really play anything with this. You do like E and D. No. Like, none of them go together.
I'm going to sound kind of green at
Oh shit.
this. Oh, that damn music is loud.
Pretty loud. It seems like it's louder out on the store floor than it is in the back room, which makes no sense.
Well, if that's the case, you know.
Do you find more storage capabilities with the U on the outside than then just having straight dead ends? Like how this goes.
I use it for ease of use. That was PJ's idea. I just took it and copied it. Punch those keys.
I don't want to say it, but I can't wait to go to Walmart tomorrow.
What?
Can't wait to go to Walmart tomorrow.
For what?
Half off
Clearance candy?
Yep.
It's not gonna be half off. It's gonna be 25%.
No, it's 25. It's 50.
Yeah, first day. Your Walmart does 50 the first day.
Yeah. They want to get that shit out and put Christmas shit out. Hell, most of the Christmas is already put out.
Damn, I went to a Walgreens today and everything was 25% off for candy and stuff.
Yeah, no. See, Walmart here, the Christmas stuff is all in the lawn and garden, so it's not even. They don't even interact. So all the Christmas stuff's out. They'll mark the candy down 25%, and then
Who's this guy here?
Exactly what I need.
Brandon.
Get the F out of there, Brandon. Come on.
So then they'll
Just what I
mark
was
it.
asking.
This
after a
is
couple
my
days,
little
they'll
corner.
Mark it down to 50, and then they'll do 75. But most of it's gone by the time they mark it down to 50.
It's all
And then
Mayo
once
and
all the
Australia. Come on. Yeah.
all that
I'm
shit's
listening.
gone, it goes back to clearance, or once it gets down, condensed down to like an aisle, it all goes to the clearance aisle, and then they put all like the foot massagers and gift packs and stuff like
Really?
that for Christmas out. Yeah,
Not even here.
I'm pretty sure you're dealing with a smaller store though.
Even our superstores. I mean, that's
Well, Damn,
How
how many
we-
Walmarts you got?
How much of a radius are we talking about here?
Just these today.
I got 2 within a 15-mile radius. Three, almost three.
Thanks
I
for
think
the quick
Denton's
service.
a little over 15.
If we're talking about a 15-mile radius, I have at least
See you next time.
my hometown, 1 south, 1 north at least. So 3.
I'll
no,
put it this
15.
way: when the Walmart I worked at was first built, it was the largest one on the East Coast.
Exactly what I need. This,
It only got beat a couple of years later by the one they put 20 minutes up the road in Camden. It was only by a couple square feet, and they held that for a few years. The largest Walmart on the East Coast was here in Delaware. Pretty sure it's gone by because they've been out since
goodbye.
they built the one that I worked at in 2001. So
Okay,
pretty
correct.
sure
There's
it's been beat.
5 Walmarts in a 15-mile radius around me. I
Jesus
just checked on
Christ.
Google.
No, no, no.
Exactly what I need.
No, we're good. We're
Just
good.
what I was after. Goodbye.
So you do multiple things per rack.
This looks good. Exactly what I need. Welcome.
I'd 2 for that big shit.
This should do it. Thanks.
I'd 2 for that big shit.
Oh, so I have a whole rack just for pumpkins, 1 for coconuts, 1 for watermelon.
You do a whole rack for each
A whole
item?
set. For right now, yeah.
Ring these up.
Jesus fucking Christ, dude.
Oh, it's crazy. I got, I think, 7 chest freezers. Don't even talk about the pastry.
Thanks.
Bakery.
Just
I got 4 medium shelves right now, and then
You really
It's
just
just
spend
so much-
all fucking day in there.
It's
This
not
here
hard.
takes me freaking hours to just restock.
I was gonna
Oh
say.
yeah,
look-
restocking's a bitch. I
Just
mean,
these today.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
restocking's a bitch, no matter how you put it. Yes,
I was gonna say the time it takes to restock everything is just insane.
restocking is just disgusting to me,
Bye.
Ring these up.
especially when you get 9 items each truck, which is annoying as hell.
Yeah, I'd just rather like run through inventory and then close.
But I mean, with a little bit higher prices, that's how I got all
Buy.
Just
how I
this
got
today.
stuff. Not much.
Just these today.
I'm being supervised over here.
No, I'm just watching.
He's seeing how you handle that money. He doesn't want you to
Exactly
give an
what
extra
I
dollar
need.
back.
No, I'm just. Oh, red tag.
Thank you. Just these today.
Did you say red tag where we have blue lights?
No, I
back
mean,
here?
no, the help button on the self checkout.
Goodbye.
Ring these up.
They seem to prefer me.
See you next
I
time. I'll use
So
my
I was
credit
watching
card.
a YouTuber today about the
Thank you.
grocery together game that they have, and they have a
Sorry, PJ. Guess
Yep.
what? I'm completely sorry, Brandon.
you're good.
Guess what? I'm checking my email now. I don't know if they
Just
responded.
today.
Guess what they reached out to me for?
Oh, I have no idea.
I got a key for it.
Oh God.
The
Human
grocery
Falls
together.
Flat VR.
Oh,
Oh hell yeah. That's awesome.
Came out today.
Did it?
I think I'll use my credit
Oh
card.
shit. Well, how much is it?
Thank you.
I mean, I'll get it regardless, but
$9.74.
JT's playing Grocery Store Simulator.
He won't join us, but asshat. Bet.
You're probably right.
Or if you get the bundle, you save almost $1.
Oh my god.
Because the VR itself, it's regular price $12.99. Right now it's $9.74. But if you get the bundle, since you already have the actual game, it's only $8.77.
Say, Humble Bundle has a pretty good sale going on for a game I can't remember. Or House Flipper. I don't know. If it's in
Well, they should make House Flipper multiplayer again. All games that are essentially simulators should be multiplayer.
Especially in this day and age.
Mm-hmm. Like, how can you not?
Ray, you fuck with my prices? I just heard someone say, why is this so expensive?
Nope, I have not touched a single price.
No, he was just
Not even a cent.
He was screenshotting. He was going through all your prices for everything and screenshotting all of that. And you totally let him do it.
Bye.
I was like, oh wow, my shit's like $5 more expensive, and I'm still selling it off the shelf.
Yeah, and he's like taking pictures of the prices that you have. Come on, man, wake up.
Exactly what I need.
Ring these up.
These people. It's
I
because
mean, I can swap for a little bit, but if you
no, you got to get out of the way because I can't scan everything with you sitting behind me, like trying to grab my ass.
He just wants to sit on your lap.
no.
I'll be on my way now.
That's the second person I've heard complain about prices. Ray, you sure you didn't touch my prices?
Nope.
No,
Okay,
he's
I didn't
no,
know.
he's not sure. Oh, hey, what's up,
Oh,
Matt?
shit.
How you doing there, bud?
This
Sorry.
guy again.
Sorry, I have to know. Is it official?
Yeah. Yep. Closed.
Yeah, we went down to the courthouse today and made it official.
Yeah.
I knew it was about time.
Yeah, we finished all the paperwork at like 11, and then got like the official word. There's like follow-up stuff that needs to be done.
Congratulations. Okay.
Yeah, in his case, it was, instead of trick or treat, it was treat and trick because they treated him to a house, but then the trick was they took all his money.
Cease to date.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be free.
Ain't that normally how it goes there?
Yeah, he went
No,
up
but literally,
full
we-
in costume and was like, trick or treat, and they dropped some keys in his bag, and as he's walking away, he's like, oh, sweet, I got a house, but they didn't realize that their hand was in his back pocket as he walked away.
oh, it's like trick or treat, and they're like, trick, you owe us like $100,000.
Did you at least have them smell your feet?
Yeah,
didn't.
after he found the water in the...
Jesus.
Yeah, so as soon as we got in there, so like the hot water tanks from like it's like 3 years old.
Okay,
Right,
so it's not
and
that old.
HVAC systems from 2014, and which is like, you know, give or take.
When this guy passed away?
In June.
Oh, that's not
And
long.
all y'all stuff has to be gas, correct?
Our heat is natural gas,
Exactly what I need.
but like we walked in, like we had a home inspection too, and the guy was just like, "Oh yeah, all your HVAC stuff is in like great shape. You just got to look out for a couple things, and just stay on top of maintenance." And like we went down into that room, and everything was totally fine. So we got the okay, and the owner like gave us the keys and stuff, like left them under the doormat. And we walked in, we checked out every room, and went into the utility room, and there's water seeping out of the
He pulled a fast one. He switched out the hot water.
water
tank.
heater. Yeah.
Ah,
He
And I
swapped
was
them out
like,
on you.
my wife and I looked at
Jeez.
each other, and we're like, we've literally owned this house for like less than a half an hour.
Well, this could be a blessing. You could, I mean, to save you some money, I'd go tankless.
Well, we're kind of guessing because it's like so. The last place that we lived at, which was like a total dump,
What I need.
the water heater just failed. So the entire contents of the water heater like flooded the floor. We were in like an inch of water in
Like
the entire
element
basement.
failed, or
Like the
just
whole
in
thing, it
general?
just gave out. So our whole basement was covered in like an inch of water. This one is just kind of like leaking, so I think it's more of like a lack of maintenance because the last time we called the people that put it in and that have serviced it, and they're like, yeah, the last time we came out was in 2020. Which kind of like makes sense with the timeline of this guy like going into assisted living and stuff.
Oh, so he hadn't been living there even longer than that's why I asked
Yeah,
when he
yeah.
passed away.
Yeah, he passed away in June, but I think for the at least 6 months to a year prior, he was in assisted living.
So in fact, essentially, there's been no one living there for like 2 years.
Give or take.
Well, it's about between 1 to 2 years. 2 years would be the upper end, but my guess is probably like year and a half.
So,
Yeah,
shit-
so, like,
shit
minimal-
goes bad when no one's living in the house for
Yeah.
that long. Even
I
6
know.
months. That's what the maintenance man was talking about out here. Because all the problems we had in ours, he's like, "There's been no one living in it for like 6 months. Shit goes wrong in 6 months."
So here's the question: like, was the water cut off for that whole entire time, and they just cut it
Yeah.
on?
So, yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna cause problems. That's
Mhm.
gonna cause huge problems. If they would have let the water just stay on it, it wouldn't have been a problem.
And it'd be one thing if they turned the water back on and were just using like cold water or something like
Yeah.
that, but they obviously used the hot water for a specific purpose. And it had to have been because they did like the final meter readings like the day before, and so they must have like gone through and like used hot water.
See, if you're gonna replace it, I'd replace it with a tankless.
Oh, no way in hell I'm replacing this thing. It's too new for
I've
that.
heard good things about tankless hot water heaters.
He's also heard good things about toothless prostitutes.
I mean, that's that's neither here or there, but yeah.
Speaking
Well,
of
so
which, how
I
your-
was reading
how
that
your
it
date go?
consumes more energy. Yeah, more importantly.
They don't hurt, okay?
What, your date?
No, my date went really well, by the way.
Yeah.
by the way,
was she really toothless? Did I?
No, she ain't. By the way, I sent you a message while we were sitting there at the date because I was telling her about the restaurant that you said we needed to go to, and
Oh,
I
he
could
was
not
thinking about you.
remember. I could not remember what the hell that restaurant name was.
Oh,
Chatters?
Thank you.
Cheddars, yeah.
How do you forget Chatters?
Because I
Literally
was thinking
the name of, like, the most popular
Cheesecake
cheese.
Factory. I wanted to say Culver's so many goddamn times. I'm like, I know it's not Culver's.
You remember
What is
Culver's, but you
I
don't
mean,
remember
that exists.
Cheesecake Factory shit. Chatters?
No, I don't. Never heard of a Cheddar's until you said it the other day.
So
Missing
that's an
out.
actual restaurant?
No,
Fuck
no,
you, Brandon.
Dude, they're all around there down in the south.
No, they're not. The closest one when I was
Yeah,
See,
the only one I
that
know
was
of
my
around
credit
here is
card.
here in Camden. And
all I
Delaware.
know is
Phoenix, we've been over this a
Charlotte.
million times. You're not like why you like to say that you are the south. You're not the south.
Oh, I'm in southern Delaware, sir.
I'm the South.
I'm southern Pennsylvania, so.
My part of Delaware was on the rebel side, all right? So,
Yeehaw.
Just these today.
yeah, exactly.
Exactly what I need.
My great grandfather may or may not have been a
Yeah, here we go.
Pull out the family tree.
Mhm.
Here we go.
I still haven't figured it out if he was Union or Confederate. It's gone both ways. did have a common first name, so it could have been two different ones. But I've seen it listed both ways. Maybe he switched sides halfway through. It's like, fuck, we ain't winning. I'm going with the winning side.
That sounds like it carried on for
I think
multiple
I'll use my
generations.
credit card.
God damn.
Got him.
I mean, is he right? You're right.
Hey, I'm not one of those bandwagon jumpers. AT, all right?
No, he just quits computer.
I mean, every year for years we heard about how bad the Chiefs sucked, and all of a sudden they start winning. And he's like, greatest team ever.
We all knew this
Oh.
was happening.
Oh, of course, yeah. I mean, he talks mad shit, and then all of a sudden they start winning, and then it's like, oh, y'all were just some sorry losers. Yeah.
Yeah, you remember that one year we were going on about how
Just these
he was
today.
like, I told you guys from the beginning of the season they were going to win the Super Bowl. I
Mhm.
told you this was our year. And then
Mhm.
we went through all the messages and pulled up. He's like,
I
"This
did.
team
I went
sucks. We're not
through
even
all
making
of
the playoffs."
I went through all of the messages
Yeah. I was
because
like,
I'm
you
petty as
You
shit.
totally didn't say that. And PJ's is like, did you say this at such and such on such and such?
Mhm.
See you next
I'm
week,
petty as
thanks.
hell.
That's good.
Yep. But like, I get it to an extent because like,
Just these things.
listen, this is how the world used to look at the Patriots. I get it.
Cheating bastard.
Thank you.
But me, being a Patriots fan, being like, oh, you just angry because they're too good.
I'm a Ravens fan. I don't know what that feels like.
So
And the
didn't
thing is,
Ravens
it's
just
like-
play the other day?
To an extent, Tom Brady is, and always was, a bitch. The majority.
Really sick and tired of hearing landslide because of him.
But if I had to compare who's a bigger bitch, Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes,
It's Travis Kelsey.
right? Yeah, the answer is C. Travis Kelsey. Follow-up
You know
question.
he's Taylor Swift's bitch in this relationship.
Oh yeah. Why do you think he is looking the way that he does now, which is kind of like sad, old, and just mustachy?
But he made that after Giselle announced that she was pregnant with the
Taekwondo
instructor.
guy. Yeah.
Yeah. After she announced she was pregnant with his baby,
So
Tom Brady
trashy.
posted the
I'll use my
a
credit
picture
card.
of the sunset with the song Landslide. Now all the radio stations are playing
This,
Landslide
I'm
on the
out.
radio. It's like I'm really tired of hearing fucking Landslide. It was good the first time.
I mean, it's
now
pretty trashy of Giselle. Come on.
100%.
So, like, the person that everyone immediately called out as being that, and then you denying it, being like, no, no, no. And then,
By the way, we're pregnant.
yeah. And then a year later, you're just like, oh, yeah, by the way. And it's like,
Just these today.
listen, your current offspring have tremendous capabilities between being a all-time great quarterback and then being like one of the best supermodels of all time. And then to even go in and just like throw in a Taekwondo instructor into there. Some greasy motherfucker. Throw that into the gene pool.
I think I'll use my credit card. Thanks for the
Just
quick
these
service.
things.
Mm-hmm.
thankful for it being Halloween because everybody switched over to that to Thriller. I was playing on. I heard it 3 times in the short time that I was in the vehicle today.
Oh my god.
But my wife, I need one of them. The thing because it's got a CD player, but all my CDs are packed up. So I need one of those things that you can hook your phone to Bluetooth and it transmits it to a radio
Just
station,
these today.
so I can listen to my music in the freaking.
Oh, so your
Pathfinder.
car didn't do that?
What?
So how old is the car?
The Pathfinder? I don't know the year of it. It's,
Oh, it just don't come with
bring these
Bluetooth
up.
in it.
She got it in her. Oh no, it's just a normal, just a radio CD player.
Oh. Oh, so Escape has Bluetooth, but I never use it.
See, my car had Bluetooth hooked
See you next time.
before I even swapped out the head unit. Now I can have the Apple CarPlay. Yeah, so I can do that. But
Just these
can't
today.
do that, and I'm not gonna put any money into the Pathfinder. I'm just temporarily using it.
See you next time.
That's our goal for when we get taxes back. Looking at getting another vehicle.
There you go.
Goodbye.
Just these. Thanks.
Especially because my wife wants to do because we don't get any trick-or-treaters out here, so she wants to go to the fire company and do the trunk or treat
I'll be
next
on my
year,
way.
hand out candy. I was like, if we do that, we're gonna need an SUV because the cars just don't do it the same. You gotta get an
Just
SUV
these
that way you
today.
can decorate the back all up.
Dude, trunk or treat's
Yeah, I
such a
know.
cop out.
That's the only way because
Bye.
there's
Get these
we never
today.
get kids out here trick or treating.
Yeah,
That's
but
the-
otherwise,
just-
Never.
So
that's
you're
the only way
basically-
we'll be able to hand out candy.
yeah, but you're basically just like handing that. Like, there's no effort behind it on their end. They can literally just walk in a circle of cars with a pillowcase out and just like receive free candy and then leave. Like,
That's
there's
what's become these days.
yeah, there's no nuance to it. Like, there's no like.
That's what made me so goddamn proud of my kid. And this is her last year because you can trick or treat up to 12 years old. So this is her last year, and she wanted to go do the trunk or treat to get the more candy. But she said afterwards she wants to go down the street where the old library used to be because that's where we hit up last year. And my wife is like, why do you want to go down there so bad? She's like, I can't just do a trunk or treat for my last trick or treating. I gotta do something traditional. And I was like, God damn it, she's right. I'm so proud of her. So we went. I parked on the street. We walked up and down that street
Thanks. Just
all the way
these.
down from the start to begin. Of course,
That's
there
what-
wasn't that many on one side. It was all like on the left hand side, and the right side there was only a couple houses, but walked all the way down it.
That's what they were talking about on Facebook earlier, how there's
Thanks for these
little to
today.
less and less people actually going door to door.
Yeah, for whatever reason, like we had people coming, like going past our house. And granted, like they probably assume that it's still abandoned, and the fact that there's lights on, they're like, okay, whatever.
That's where we get kidnapped at.
Pretty much. But there were people that were like walking down the street, like cherry picking which places they wanted to go trick or treating at. I was like, what?
Bring these up.
Yeah, I wouldn't skip houses back in the day. Like I would go to every single
Just
house.
these today.
And it's like I know
When I
it's
did-
I know it's creepy handing out candy in like an empty house. I get it.
Thanks.
Whenever I used to go, it was we kind of picked the houses just because we knew who
We
was
stopped
here.
on a street. We went to every
Yeah,
single
you hit
house.
every house. Well, we used to just, I mean, our neighborhoods were so close that we used to just like hop on Razor scooters. And that's how we'd maximize.
To be fair, there's like only like 20 houses on this street, and that's it.
The first year we lived in that development we lived in, I went around and halfway. It was like the loop of houses was like maybe a mile complete circle, and I went halfway around, and my bag was overflowing, so we had to come back home. I grabbed another bag, went out, filled that bag up, just in that one little loop. And that was because there was no one coming, so they were so happy to have a trick or treater. They were just loading me up. They're like, "Yeah, we'll just take this. The more you take, the less I have to eat." So I was like, "All right, I'm taking 2 handfuls." But no. So prior to that, because we lived out, like on the outskirts of town. Prior to that, so no one trick or treated down there. So we used to pile up and go downtown. And we'd go down every street, and we'd go to every single house. It didn't matter what they were giving out. We'd toss it when we got home, but we were going.
Can you speed it up?
Yeah, my dad lives in BFE, so there's no way, like, we can't go to his house and hand out candies. So trunk or treat's the only option for us.
I think someone's showing out to
I understand that, but what's interesting is that, like, before the pandemic, trunk or treat didn't exist.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it did. Here it did.
Not here.
It started pre-pandemic. It was the 2 places to go was haunted hallways, which every school does a haunted hallways, and trunk or treats.
Wait,
So
what?
they had trunk or treat at the ball field. They had trunk or treat at the police station. They had trunk or treat at the fire station. Those were you go to.
We didn't have a haunted
Shows
high
how
school.
liberal your state is.
I was gonna say, we never did a haunted high school.
We're very liberal.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It goes to show that you already had that stuff in place before the pandemic. Like, bunch of bitches.
I 100% agree with you.
Fine, just these today.
Like,
Yeah,
trunk,
haunted hallways
trunk,
has been a thing ever since I was
trunk or treat's a fucking
No,
joke.
not
I was
here.
in middle school.
That's the first time I ever heard about it.
I heard of trunk or treat. It was the Halloween 2020, and someone came up with it.
Do them throughout. So,
And I was like, "F you for this," because you could literally just park all the cars in a circle, and then all they have to do is hold their pillowcase out and just be like, "Twinkle tweet," and then they're like, "Oh, look at your adorable costume," and then you could just get candy, and then 2 seconds later you move on to the next one. It's like, I'm sorry, cars are not houses. This is not the same thing. The kids aren't working for anything. Like, you know how many... So we got, like, a shocking amount of trick-or-treaters, considering the... we asked the owner, or, like, the owner's son, who lives on the same street. We're like, "Do you guys get a lot of trick-or-treaters?" And he was like, "No, not really. They tend to go to the other neighborhoods that are more popular." We're like, "Oh, okay." And we drove past one day, and there was only, like, 2 houses on the street that had any kind of Halloween decorations. But, I mean, this house is from 1965, so it has no overhead lighting. But I turned on every light I could in the house. Turned on the front lights. Had a big old bowl of candy sitting there. And then we got hit, or I got hit with, like, a rush of, like, within 15 minutes, like 20 trick-or-treaters.
That's probably hitting you at the
gutted
after
through
the
the
wrap. Didn't you say the next like road over is really popular for trick or treating?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we always did. The ones that on the outskirts or near the popular places got hit after the main drag was done.
Yeah, because I was literally, like, we bought 1 bag of candy because when we drove down the street, we're like, you know, based on what the old owner said and based on the decorations and, like, the average age of the person on this street, like, we're probably not getting much in the way of the trick-or-treaters. So we got a small bag of candy. And my wife was at a dentist appointment when the trick-or-treating started, and the one mob came through and, like, robbed me of almost all my candy. So she's like, "I'm coming back." And I was like, "Stop and get more candy. We're going to need it." And by the time she got back, like,
I fucking ate it all.
all the trick-or-treaters had essentially, like, gone through. So then we were stuck with, like, the weird like teenage, because there's no like age restriction here. So you get like the 13 or 14-year-olds that are like barely dressed up in costume. And they come there.
Oh,
But-
a lot that night.
And at that point, because we had like 2 more bags of candy, it was just like literally just take as much as you want, dude. Because I remember being that person that was out at like 8:30 after trick-or-treating had ended on my scooter and going to see which houses still had lights on. But my point being, even at the youngest age that rolled through at like 6, like, none of them said trick or treat.
Saw a lot too today when we were at the trunk or treat. You were saying, "Oh, they gotta walk around and say trick or treat, and they get candy." They weren't even saying trick or treat. They were just holding their bags open.
They literally, the first group of people that, like, my very first ever as a homeowner, which I think is kind of cool, like day 1, Halloween.
Day one deals.
Yeah, day 1's Halloween. Bust my ass over there, and then I get my actual like first trick or treater of home ownership. It was a milestone moment in my life that I'll never
And the
forget.
little 6-year-old's like, "Fuck you, give me candy."
They literally just stood there, looked at me, like past me, and they just like held out their thing, and I was just like, "Oh, look at your costumes! Like that's a good skunk costume." And I was like, "Happy Halloween!" And I was like, "Feel free to grab like, a couple of everything." And they just didn't say a word. And then, as they were leaving, they're like, "Thank you." And I was like, "Happy
Yeah,
Halloween."
thank you.
I was like, "Happy Halloween." Because, like, I grew up with the standard of, like, you knock on the door, they open it up, you say trick or treat. They compliment you on your costumes, you take some candy, and then you say, like, Happy Halloween. And you leave. Simple transaction.
Freaked the kid out when you opened
Another-
the door and he saw it was empty. He was like,
Well, yeah, and other people just open the door for it, and they're just like, "Hi." And I was like, "The fuck kind of greeting's that?"
"That's not you fucking ass for candy. Say trick or treat." It's my first time handing out candy. I want you to say trick or treat.
I wanted to be like, "Hi, are you here for the water heater?"
That's fucking taking a drink.
You didn't specify that you were here for trick or treating. Therefore, I assumed you're here for some kind of labor. You can sweep
They
out
don't
my
say
garage.
trick or treat. Oh no, I have the light on for the plumber. He's on his way.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to come down my basement? Mommy!
Well, you know what's funny is, so we got over to the law firm early, and we parked behind a mail truck on the side of the road. The dude hops out, the mailman, because around here, I don't know if it's like this for you, but like they like get their mail from like a deposit box, and then they sort it, and then they go out on foot.
The
and
mail
they,
carrier does?
Yeah, and mail carriers are on foot
Oh.
here.
Here so it comes into the post office, they sort it, and then they load it up.
Well, yeah, sorry,
the-
and then they drop it into the box.
They load up boxes at the post office, and they load their mail trucks up, and they head out. They don't get it from boxes. Definitely don't sort it on there. It's all pre-sorted for them.
All right, yeah, around here's a little different. So the guy hopped out of his mail truck, like full-blown Mario costume, straight with like the big hands and stuff. And
You told me he was sorting envelopes with them big ass hands.
I was like, well, no, he couldn't have been. He couldn't have been, but that was so funny. I was like, you know what, dude? Like, I know we're gonna hit a record high. Like, we hit, I think, 80 degrees here today.
I was 82 here. My dad's, he's always like, hey, you want to come help me in the shed on the hottest freaking days of the year?
I know.
You do realize it's 80, so I get over there and he goes, is it hot outside? I say, it's
Thanks
in
for
the
the quick
80s.
service.
Oh,
Yeah.
they won't work on the shed. Can you?
With like
we can get
90%
one of those
humidity
receptacles?
too. Like the humidity sucked. At least up here, it was in like 90% humidity and it was like 80 degrees. I was just like, shoot
nice
me.
out today.
We brought over like some stupid shit. Like, we can actually use the Roomba over there. So I brought the Roomba over, and so they had this place like cleaned by a cleaning company. We watched them do all the work, like top to bottom, and we came in and there's just like dirt and shit like all over the ground, like all over the floor, everywhere. We're like, what the hell happened? So we're like, we're bringing the Roomba over. You can't function in a townhouse with 3 floors. So we just sent it out to do its own thing.
Are you guys in a drought there too?
Yep. Yeah, officially.
So
Probably what it is.
Well, we have the
dirt
forest
and dirt.
fires, dude.
We
have
get
the
forest fires?
Yep.
really?
Yeah, there's been one that's been ongoing since Friday. Like last Friday.
We're in a red flag, but
Yeah, we're in red flag now because
Oh,
we're getting the cool air because today was super hot. So we're getting that like cold air and it's coming from the direction that's like super dry air to cool things down. But there's strong winds. So as of today, we're in red flag. But the majority of like northern Massachusetts is in a I think they classify it as like considerable drought.
I'd say it's probably been at least
We've-
2 months with no rain.
we've-
Actual rain amount.
yeah.
so-
Here. It's
yeah,
so dry that I
we
was
haven't gotten
coming
rain
home.
since like early September. We have not gotten any rain. Like, we got rain
Same.
2 days ago, but it was like enough to
Just these
just like
things.
coat the ground, but nothing else. I
It's
think
so
we got
dry
like
here.
8 1/100ths of an inch of rain.
That I was coming home yesterday, and they were harvesting corn out in the field, and there was so much dust being kicked up. It was like a whiteout condition across the road. You couldn't see anything because it was just kicking up so much dust blowing across.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty nuts. Like, I mean, it's like the forest fire is nothing compared to like the ones that you see in California, where it's like it ripped through like 5,000 acres of land so far. But like around here, that means a lot more, and it's gone through like 240 acres, and it's not really controlled. And it's like actually getting to houses and stuff. So it's the problem is it like the leaves that are starting to fall off the trees, because just when they think they have
Wait,
something.
yours just started?
Well, we're in where I'm at, like we're in peak right now for foliage.
Oh, same. Like literally, like 70% of the leaves is already off the ground here.
Well, our news
Yeah,
channel
that's one thing. They
our
said
news channel
here.
does like a map, and it says we're like peak, past peak, before peak for New England, and they have their own little charts and stuff like it is for like precipitation for the region. They have that for foliage, so we're like just at the tail end of peak, getting into past peak, So the leaves are falling. And that's the problem with, like, every time they put out a fire or try to, like, there's leaves that fall that like keep it going. And then obviously, like, the leaves blow around, so it expands the fire. So there's like nothing they can do about it.
Yeah, that's what they're
It's
saying.
not funny,
that
but at the same time, it's just like, oh, jeez.
we're not going to have as colorful as a fall, and leaves are going to be falling off a lot sooner. In the matter of a week period, all the leaves on the tree in my dad's backyard fell. The whole backyard's coated in leaves. The front yard's coated in leaves. It's just like, Jesus Christ.
We had color, but it did not last long.
So we drove past our, like, respective house last week, and I was like, purely just to look at, I was like, what's the leaf situation going to be? Like, what am I dealing with? And I looked and I was like, well, that's going to suck day one. The whole yard was under like a foot of leaves. And then he was like, after we closed, he was like, I hope that the house and the yard condition, I feel like I left it in good shape for you. And we walked through the house, and I was like, saw this dirt on the ground and like random things. It's like they opened all the doors and windows, like screens up, and just like let everything come into the house because it's so dirty. And the last time that we were there, it was so clean. And then they had a landscape company come in to do the leaves, and all they did was just blow the leaves into the backyard because it's like lined by woods, and they didn't even blow all the leaves into the woods. Like, they just left a ring of stacked leaves around the property line. Not even around the property line. It's before our property line. It was just like the last place where there's grass, and it's like, we still have a quarter of an acre
Can't find it anywhere.
of land back there that you like blow leaves all the way back there. Are you kidding me? Now I have to come back there and I have to fix all of that.
I got a legitimate
We were looking
question
forward
for
to
you.
that anyway.
Yeah, but I don't have a leaf blower right now.
I will say I love my battery ones.
already.
I love my battery leaf blowers.
I'm not doing a fucking battery leaf blower. Come on.
First off, you're the one who talked about a battery lawnmower, which is even worse.
That's different.
No, it ain't.
Yeah, it is.
No.
I wholeheartedly believe that it is.
Anyway, since I got a legitimate question, since you closed on your house, have you talked to your agent about anything?
We don't have an agent. Oh,
the
you
one-
mean no.
Real estate.
No, because after we went through the final like finances and like final deposits and stuff, we don't have enough to pay her anything.
Damn.
It like
That's kind
okay,
of a kick, but yeah.
let me put it this way. Like, do we have enough to pay her? Yes. Having gone through the process ourselves and then looking back to see like what would she have actually done for us during this process,
More money.
the answer is nothing, because we paid I think like $1,500 in legal fees associated with like our real estate attorney. But then we would have owed our real estate agent close to like 15 grand. So, like, real estate agents are a scam.
Uh-huh.
They don't do anything for you. You don't need them.
Nope, you don't.
They don't make anything easier. What's most important for any potential home buyers out there is having a good real estate attorney and then having a good mortgage broker. Those are the two things that matter. Because let me tell you, like, real estate agents are not involved in either of those processes. Their job is to, like, hook you up with someone that they know.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, yeah, you don't know a real estate attorney? Because, like, why would you? They're like, oh, yeah, I work with this guy all the time, and, like, he's great, so you're going to go with them because they recommend that.
But you shouldn't, though, right?
No, I think I've learned so much through this process that I don't think I would ever use a real estate agent ever again. So looking back on what we told her, that we were like, hey, we feel bad that we're doing this deal off of the market and therefore you're not, like, qualified to get your commission, but we feel like we owe you something, so we're going to give you, like, I think we originally told her like $5,000 because it was going to be like less than half of what we were going to owe her for compensation had it been a legitimate deal. And we were looking at that and we were like, no, I don't think we can pay that. I don't think we can do that right now.
So much for staying friends.
Yeah, really.
Listen, I feel badly about it.
Shit hits the fan, I mean.
Yeah, like, we're just not in a position to do that anymore. And
Here, you spend all your money. What can you do about it?
like, we wanted to keep, like, a decent chunk of money in the bank, but
So
like,
were you able to?
yeah, like, enough to get by, but there's other things that come up. Like, we have to also pay rent in our place for the next 3 months, so that's like, what, like $8,000, something like that, of like spent cost, just to get us to the end of our lease. So we have to pay that on top of our mortgage, and then there's like the random shit that we thought was gonna.
No, so your lease would be your current place, right?
Yeah. So we're staying.
I was gonna say, if you bought a house, why are you paying a lease? Dawn on me. Wait, you used to actually have your old place currently.
Yeah, so we're just gonna tell them that we're not gonna renew, but our lease is up at the end of January, so we're just gonna stay. We're gonna pay a mortgage and a lease for 2 months.
Overachiever.
Too awful, I guess.
Well, it gives us the ability to do some of the essential work on the house.
Yeah.
But we also have to
do essential work. Oh boy, that's gonna be interesting.
We also have to do well. Hey, I can be handy.
I mean, I know you can be good at landscaping, but handyman work, that would be a YouTube video I would watch.
Well, luckily I have my dad and my brother chomping at the bit. My dad's already like called me 3 times today, even after I went and saw him, to talk about like, oh yeah, when can I come over and do this? When can I come over and do that? And then his last text was like, is it okay if we come over tomorrow? Like, my mom hasn't seen the place. So she's like, your mom wants to see the place. And, you know, maybe I'll take, like, some conference calls from there, too, if that's all right. I was like, okay, I guess.
Just make yourself at home.
Yeah, I was like, I have 2 camping chairs there right now. I can bring 2 more camping chairs if you'd like. And if you're going to be doing work from there, because I have to be there tomorrow morning for the HVAC guy between 8 and 12. So I'm going to be working from there. So I brought like a little mini desk to work from. And so I was like, oh, if you're gonna be taking conference calls, like I have a straight up like folding table I can bring over if you want.
Okay, I got
If you get a little hungry,
He's like-
we have Halloween candy.
He's like yeah, I think he's trying to like post up there for the day. So the guy that he's
Making a
working,
game plan.
the guy that he's working with on his current job, for like the commercial construction, the guy that he's working with runs the legal side of the job, but also happens to be like their personal like estate attorney, but they specialize in like real estate. So he like hooked me up with this guy, and he's like the owner of the law firm. It's like Glovsky and Glovsky, and he is the only Glovsky guy. He's like 80 years old, and so he's the one that has done all the work for this. And my dad definitely wants to come out here just to be in a meeting with this Glovsky guy, and then after the meeting being like giving him a grand tour of the place because he's so proud.
So, your hot water tank went out, correct? Right.
I don't know if it went out. It just leaked.
But you're calling an HVAC guy.
Yeah, because so it's one thing if it. So I've been a part of when it just goes.
So
and
your HVAC guy does your plumbing?
No.
So why is an HVAC guy coming out whenever there's a hot water tank? It would be a plumber issue.
They only do HVAC, but this is the company that installed the hot water heater. Like their name is on the tank and is associated with the 10-year warranty. So that's the first person I called.
Oh,
The company that comes out here to the apartments, they do electrical, HVAC, and plumbing. So regardless of
So this
what the issue
company
was, they
does
call, you're gonna get the same
electrical.
guy.
This company does electrical and HVAC. They don't do plumbing, which sucks because our downstairs bathroom.
oh no, here goes the toilet
You already
story.
blocked that son of a bitch up?
No, it wasn't working because. So by the time this guy went into assisted living, like he wasn't using the downstairs at all. He's like, there's actually railings going down the hallway to the bedrooms. So, like, he was single floor living. Something happened with the lower bathroom, and all he did was just put a sign on the door that said "Do not use." When we looked at it, the water was shut off, so there was no water in the toilet. Since then, the water has been turned back on, and we opened it up, like the toilet, and A, it smelled. B, it looked like the worst liquid diarrhea color that you could ever imagine. But it wasn't.
He took an upper decker before he left.
It was, yeah, like, because it wasn't like solids in there. It was just brown water that smelled so bad.
Ew.
And we were just like, what the fuck is that?
Still water.
And so we're just like, plumber.
You're just like, we
Plumber.
go into this place for 30 minutes. I'm already ready to return it.
We already knew about the lower bathroom having issues. We knew that was going to be a problem. The tanks,
Is your refund the same?
a
as Steve's?
total surprise. Well, we were looking at
Can
each
I
other.
return
We're
it for
just
full
like,
price after 2 hours.
well, I mean, like we signed the paperwork and stuff, and then like we left and we were super excited, and then we got the email of like the recording, like the official recording being processed. So like all of the paperwork's done. Like we officially own the home, and we were just like beyond the moon. And knowing what we knew, like, oh yeah, we need to take on all these projects and stuff. It's gonna be a lot of work, but we can do it. And then we both sat in there, like when we first got in there, we were just like, fuck.
Took less than 30 minutes for you guys to learn that fuck. We gotta fix this shit now.
Yeah, when everyone's just like, hey, you know, owning a home, there's always going to be something that you need to do. And we're like, yeah, we know what we need to do. And just like,
reality check.
We're renters. We don't do that.
yeah, the extent of the stuff that needs to be done is just like, there's no end to it. Now, granted, for what we bought the house for, let's say we went bankrupt next week, right? We could still sell the house for a profit. So any work that we do on the house is going to increase the value.
It's all profit, baby.
So that's when we're looking at like, listen, we need to have like X amount for like emergency, like straight up front cash, but like, let's take on some major projects, and like that's where you get like a HELOC.
What?
It's a home equity line of credit.
Oh.
So you basically borrow against the equity of your house.
Okay.
So, for example, like, let's say I'll just throw some random numbers. Like, let's say I bought a house for like $700,000, and the value of the house is like $750,000, right? If I were to just like turn around and sell it as is, so I have $50,000 in equity, right? So you can borrow against the equity of your house, so that $50,000. So I could take out like a $50,000 loan towards house improvements, provided that the projects that I was doing would increase the value of the house. So let's say I took out a $50,000 loan, and I used that to redo our kitchen top to bottom. Well, that was a 1965 original kitchen that you update to 2024. That's going to increase the value of the house by like $30,000 to $50,000.
Yeah.
So it works well against like your home equity, like what you're borrowing against, because the return on investment from them to give you that line of credit, it works out well for them. Because if you go to sell it, like, they get more money. They get their money back. The only downside to that is then it just becomes like a loan. So like on top of your mortgage, you have to pay a loan back of like whatever you borrowed against your house.
Makes sense.
And PJ's needing 2 bathrooms was like, we immediately gotta take out the loan. We gotta fix that downstairs bathroom for my private poopskis.
No, we're actually both in agreement with that.
Just these today.
They don't want to smell you either.
Goodbye.
No, we both firmly believe in having at least more than one toilet in the house.
So it's gonna be his or
Oh,
her
that'd be
toilets?
nice.
Yeah, so the way we have it set up is like, because we don't have any storage space and stuff. So like I take the full bathroom because when I go to work, like in the office and stuff, like I wake up much earlier than her and I shower in the mornings. So it makes sense for me to have all my stuff in the full bathroom. Versus like she's a showering the night before work kind of person. Like she can just get up and do what she needs to do at a sink with a mirror. And a toilet. So we've essentially like split the bathrooms of she gets the downstairs half bath dedicated to all of her shit that she wants to put on the counter and whatnot. And then I get the upstairs bathroom.
That's the wildest shit I've ever heard.
What?
Yeah.
That is
Let's
full
get
blown the
these
wildest shit I've ever heard.
What? Yeah, but it makes sense. Like, we have our separate areas for getting ready because like, I don't want to wake her up in the morning, and like I don't want her to wake me up in the morning because we have such different schedules. So it makes sense for us to have
What's
our
the
own
time
area,
difference?
like hour and a half.
Just these things.
That's wild.
Yeah, can confirm.
I've never heard of split. I've heard like splitting. Like I've seen people where they have like one big bathroom, but it's got like two different sides. So like the man has one side, the woman has the other. I've never heard about just completely separating
Appreciate the
bathrooms.
just these today.
No, that's how bougie
Well,
you
it's
are
not-
when
it's
you have
not
two
like-
separate bathrooms like
It's
that.
not separating bathrooms completely because like you can only shower in one of the bathrooms,
Thanks.
Just these. Thanks.
but it's just like she keeps her like products and stuff for her like face and everything like that. She keeps that in the downstairs bathroom, and then I keep all my like razor blades and all that stuff. I just keep it in the upstairs bathroom and have it on the counter, and she's got all her stuff on the counter downstairs.
So I'm assuming you don't have like a master bath. It's just like one bathroom upstairs.
Yeah,
Okay, that makes sense. So you don't have like two sinks.
yeah, no, one sink. So it's like it's a replica of the downstairs bathroom. It's just slightly bigger because it has a bathtub in it, but it's the exact same layout.
Looks like they're out.
No luck today.
Still interesting.
I think I'll use my credit card.
I get it. It makes sense.
Well, because we don't have the storage space in either bathroom to like hold everything that we both need, you know. So we kind of have to like split it up,
Thanks for the quick
and
service.
just like based on our schedules because they're so vastly different. Like the way, like on the days that I work from home and she goes to work, like she leaves at like 7:15 or something like that. But on the days that I won't work from home, like I don't wake up until like 8:30.
I'll just go ballistic because I woke up past. I mean, my
Your fucking
Reverse-
schedule makes no sense. Your point's invalid here.
Yeah.
Have
the-
nothing to do, nowhere to be, and you're getting up at 3 o'clock in the fucking morning.
They
No,
don't have
you
that.
got
not in the 3 in the morning.
For the average 9 to 5er, like I stay up way too late and I wake up way too early. So every single night I stay up until at least midnight, and then on the days that I'm in the office, which is now 3 days a week, I wake up at like 5:15. So on average, I get like 5 hours of sleep per night if I'm lucky.
Why do you stay up until midnight? Just curiosity.
Anxiety.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I usually have to like drink myself to sleep.
I just turn the fan on to high and just lower to sleep.
Although these edibles recently, they've been doing the job. I'm taking one like an hour before bed, and I'm like, oh,
on the topic of that.
snoozing like a baby.
My wife might get put on it.
I 100% approve. My only issue is I need to stop. I need to change my nightly routine because I will usually just watch a show that's of no interest to me. Like a weird documentary in order to fall asleep because I don't care about it, but I just need to have something.
When you take the edible, you get weirdly interested in it.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm
You're
just
gonna-
like,
That's good shit.
I was like, tell me about this weird fucking art that you
No,
like.
that's what I call weird.
I've been watching this thing where this guy is like trying to prove desperately that like civilization existed before the year like 5000 BC, by going to like historic, like archaeological sites and like proving that by like digging down a layer. Weird shit that would just put me to sleep on a normal night. And then like the nights that I've been like take the edibles before going to bed, I'm just like, oh, this is riveting. Like, what are you gonna find out next?
Holy shit! Is that a spear?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, he had an episode in Indonesia, and this, like, it's like a core site. If you didn't know, Indonesia apparently is like a core site to like the formation of like humanity. I thought it was always the Middle East, but no. And so they took us to this site, and I was just like fascinated because it was on top of a hill. The structure was built, but then they did this like 3D scan of the hill, and they found out that there was like layers of the same shit like below. And so they dug that up, and they found out there's like a layer below that. And I was like, don't tell me there's a layer below that. It's wild.
Your wife wakes up in the morning and you're just glued to the TV. I gotta find out what's on the 85th layer.
Yeah, she's like, how many hours did you sleep? I was like, sleep? Have you heard about this shit? This is far more important.
Sleep. Have you
We need to
heard
get the
what
word
got
out there.
going on in Indonesia? Like,
Life started before 4000 BC. Like, there's proof. And then she would just be like slightly listening to me, and then going over to like the kitchen drawer and pulling out the aluminum foil, and then just like give me a hat.
need to,
She's like, I think you need this today. Did you sleep at all, or? And I'd be like, how could you? How could you sleep? Knowing information like this. She's like, that's what I thought. You have a good day. And it kisses me on the tinfoil hat.
I don't know if I could actually take those if I had to.
well, here's the best part, because I've never tried any of it either. So the doctor left her with the option for her anxiety. She was like, we're either going to have to put you on an antidepressant, which she doesn't want at all. She's very along with it. Anything that messes with the functioning of your brain,
Yep.
totally off the cards. So she's like, the other option's medical marijuana. And I was like,
she's like,
I've
a
never-
word?
I was like, I never tried. Well, that's the best part. I was like, you need to go in and ask your boss, like, what's their policy on all that. And I was like, well, knowing your boss and all that, she'll probably ask if you are willing to share with the class. And when she went to work and she texted me, she's like, I think you're right. I was like, about what? She's like, how stuff's gonna react. And she's like, I brought it up, and she was just got a big smile on her face, and she's like, well, actually, I called it. I know her boss well enough to know she's probably a piehead.
Technically, I mean, if you have the same regulations as we do in Massachusetts, they can't ask. So there are certain companies that will still refuse. So like, let's say you have to take a drug test, and if you have that in your system, there are still some companies that will refuse that and call it like a positive finding. But there are some that don't. So like, for example, my company, we don't have a policy. We have a, like, any kind of drugs are frowned upon. Like, I was technically supposed to take a drug test, but like I never got it. And I've been there for 4 years, and I don't think, like, let's put it this way, unless your job performance is affected by it, they can't really ask you, like, are you on drugs? because you don't technically have
her
to.
being-
You don't have to disclose it to them.
Her being second in charge and having to deal with the money and everything, I was like, yeah, you should probably ask just to be on the safe side.
Oh, I
I
wouldn't
mean,
have asked.
she'll never go to work, hire anything, and she doesn't want to smoke. She's just strictly, she said if she does it, it's going to be edible. But I told her, she's like, she's never done any of that either. I was like, I tell you what, if that's something you're interested in, I said, if it makes you feel better, I'll try it first time with you. So that should be a trip.
Man, I will say, hands down, like, from when I was in college to where it is now is phenomenal. Like, just their ability to, like, break everything down and then know, like, what each strand does and how it can affect you, and also, like, the availability. Because I went in there and I was just like, listen, I'm looking for some advice. It's like the last time I was doing this, I was
Back
doing
in high school, college days.
no,
Oh, it wasn't? Oh.
no, no. Long after that, I've been a lifelong stoner. I just took a
hiatus.
I mean,
Is
how
that
long?
the word?
How long have I been in here? Because it'd be like slightly before that. So like 7 years, 8 years.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, so I took a hiatus from that because like the roommates that I was living with before I met up with you guys, they were doing like the oil rigs where it's like DAPs, where it's just like it's literally liquid concentrated THC that you'd have to heat up with a blowtorch.
Yeah.
And then put through a whole freaking system of it, like filtering bad stuff out. And it was insane. But that was the only thing that they did. So I was used to just like casually smoking. And I would be sitting there on the end of my bed, like rocking my head back and forth for hours. And I was like, okay, I'm done with this completely done.
Yeah, I guess my dad and stepmom just full blown embraced it because she grew her own plants. She had 2 of them. She had 4 of them. 2 of them survived.
Yeah, my friend does that.
And she, like, whatever there's just fucking Ziploc bags of weed just on the like. And he's like, I was like, so once you've harvested everything off the plant, I was like, is it no good anymore? It doesn't regrow? And he said, no, she's already cut up the stems, and they have a whole Ziploc bag full of stems. And he's like, she's gonna make a tea out of it. She's like, he's like, so next time we come over, or you come over a fire, and we're
dude, that
sipping
tea is.
He's like, we're gonna be getting stoned. You would never know.
Yeah,
I was like, well, you just told me so.
It's literally the same as an edible, like just different form. My wife was just like weird. I don't know where it came from, but we were joking about. Like I was saying, I was like, I'm gonna plant like a pot plant in the backyard, and she's like, you know, from the DARE team in high school, and she's like, no, you won't. And I was like, why? It's legal, and I legally own this property. I can do whatever the hell I want. I can just grow a pot plant in public if I want. She's like, no, you won't. I'll cut it down. Meanwhile, the entire time she's been asking me about like putting in like peonies or peonies around there, and I was like, yeah, I'll do that. I was like, I'll do that, but every time you cut down like one of my pot plants, I'll cut one of your peonies. And I was like, sounds like a good old fashioned Mexican standoff.
Something not right about you, bud.
And you know her reaction? It was like the
Bring it on.
oh, wah, wah, wah.
That's fucking great.
I was like, all right. She's like, I don't want to be associated with that. It's like, all right, then I'll just go to the cannabis distribution place down the road. Fine.
Bloods are us.
Yeah. Although I went there at like 7 o'clock on a Friday night, and I had to wait in line for like half an hour.
Here it's so you still have
And
to
it's
have
only cash
the-
only, which is still weird.
You have to have the medical card still, so it's gotta be.
Wait,
you have to
really?
get one. Yeah, it doesn't go into effect. Recreational use doesn't go into effect till 2025, so it's a
Oh.
couple months away. But
But everyone's getting set up for it.
yeah, there's a dispensary right there in Felton, right
Yep.
up the road from my dad.
Well, once it becomes like non-medical and recreational, they're gonna be popping up everywhere. I guarantee you, in the first year, you're gonna find like 2 or 3 that are closer to you. Because I was looking at all the towns after it became like recreationalized, and I was looking at like the prim and proper towns, like where I grew up, and I was like, who's the first in that area that's gonna pick up a fucking dispensary? Okay. So there was one in like Peabody, which is like not even close to where I grew up. It's like 20 minutes away. And the uproar that caused. Like, we don't want this, and they boycotted it, but there was nothing they could do legally. They're like, yeah, we have to let this happen. So every single town from then on just like opposed it, voted against it, and it got overruled. So I was actually driving from my parents' house back up to the highway, and like 2 miles down the road, I looked to the left and saw there was a dispensary there, and I was just like, oh, my, how things have changed.
Yeah, I looked at when she first
I was
started
like,
talking about it.
Those rich
looked it
stay-at-home moms want to have some weed. And that's what it boils down to.
When she first brought it up, I looked in. There's only 5 in Delaware right now, so I imagine
That's it?
as soon as, yeah, I
Oh, it's
imagine
Delaware.
as soon as it goes into effect, and like I said, it starts 2025. It's gonna go crazy.
Well,
But even like my,
if they haven't
stepmom said
already,
she's
and you-
allowed to have
Thanks.
2 plants currently. Once it goes into effect in 2025, part of that is I
5.
think she's allowed to have up to like 10.
I thought it was 5 or 6.
Here in Delaware, you're allowed to have 2 right now.
Oh, okay. Oh, shit.
It's like,
Oh,
I
fuck,
think
I
it's
have
10.
customers.
It might be.
I think at Mass it's 10. I would imagine that Delaware would be a little bit more strict about it.
Thanks.
Bring
for the
these
quick
up.
service.
But yeah, I mean, that was like the first time I went to a dispensary ever. That's not true. I went to one in Colorado, but I had no idea what was going on.
It's just wild going
Thank you.
from
Just these things.
your parents saying, "Oh, don't do drugs," and then you go into your dad's house and he's got a little plastic container full of joints just chilling on the kitchen table. It's like, what the?
Well, I mean, we
Bye.
like we called my dad out early on. Like it was obvious that he was quote unquote going to the University of Michigan, but like he was selling pot. Like that's how he made his tuition. We all knew that. We found it out very quickly, and we called him out on that, and he was just like, like, yeah, it's fine. Bro, hey. We have all sold drugs for a profit. It's fine.
I don't think we all have.
No. All right. Yeah. All right. Maybe not.
I've watched people sell them for a profit.
But he doesn't understand that, like, the weed back then is not equivalent to the weed how it is now. Like, I remember that Christmas when we were talking about drugs and stuff, and we were talking about marijuana, and I was just like, "Can you?" Talking to my brother, and I was just like, I think we were actually both pretty hammered, and it was Christmas morning. Because none of us would ever talk about drugs in front of our parents. And we're like, can you believe like an eighth cost like $40 or $45? Or no, it was 60. And we're like, yeah, when we started college, it was like $45. My dad was like, an eighth of what? And we're like, marijuana? And he was like, yeah, but like an eighth of a what? We're like, ounce? And he was like, you buy stuff based on of a fraction of a whole ounce?
Back in my day, we sold by the pound, you pussies.
He literally told us that he had one of those old school scales, and he would put
ones?
He would put a brick of weed on one, and then put weights on the other to get it to balance, and then that's how he would charge people. In like the mid-70s. But it wasn't that much. It wasn't like, it was like the same price for like an eighth, which was like $40 for a pound of weed. Because it was just so less potent back then. But this concentrated shit, my God. Ooh. Like the last time I had used it, I didn't know what it was all about. It's my first time doing an edible. And after an hour, I was just like, I'm not feeling anything. I feel pretty normal. They're like, oh, just take another one. And I did. Then I realized that like when you ingest it, it's about like a 2 to 3 hour like period of it like digesting and breaking down into your system. So by the time I like had all of that happening, it's like crab walking across the pool in the shallow end, bouncing up and down. So this past time,
I think I'll use my credit card.
I was like, listen, I need something that's like not super strong. Oh shit.
Swipe your card on the payment device. Remember to take your receipt. Thank you. Welcome. Please begin scanning.
My back room is empty. We got
Yeah,
muffins,
so your shelves.
3 different kinds of beer, Some watermelon, some apples, potatoes. That's about it.
You still got some lechuga, my friend.
Transaction complete. Thank you.
Some cabbage.
Yeah. No, sorry. Lechuga. Lettuce.
And so what the hell's that?
Lechuga is
The
lettuce.
Spanish
have what
term
we
for
need.
lettuce.
Oh.
Someone never took a Spanish class.
Nope, didn't have.
You didn't have to have any foreign language credits to graduate.
He's from like central/western Pennsylvania. Obviously not.
I mean, they should have to have like a Dutch credit.
I was gonna say, like, if anything, you'd have to learn Dutch. I saw this show. It was on TikTok. I don't know if it's an actual show. I think it is, but it's like the Dutch that are like leaving the Amish environment and like trying to make it on their own. There's like a show about that apparently. So they're being introduced into like American culture. And it's stuff that they've never seen. So I saw an episode. It was kind of weird, but I was curious, so I watched. So these Amish people were going to the beach. They've never
heard about this.
They've never seen the beach before. Like they've never seen water, like ocean water, ever. And so
I've never seen thong bikinis before.
yeah, so they went to an actual like northern or like regular American like store to get bathing suits. And they're like trying on the bathing suits, which are obviously like bikinis, and one of them couldn't do it. They were just like, I don't feel comfortable with this, I'm not gonna do it. And the other one just came full out. It's just like, here I am. And her boyfriend who was there was just in disgust out of jealousy. And she's like, they had a conversation afterwards, and she's like, this is what I like. Like, this is what I want to do. This is why we did this experiment, because, like, I just want to see what this is all about. And he's like, well, all my friends, like Abraham and, Lahim, were looking at you, and I don't like that. And she's like, well, if you want to live in this culture, you're going to have to get used to it.
I bet he didn't like that comment.
No, he's very unhappy. Because in the Amish culture, like,
Yeah.
the females don't really give much backsass. Yeah, she gave it.
Welcome. Please
So,
scan your
fuck this shit, I'm going back.
Swipe your card on the payment device. Transaction.
He's gonna go back.
You actually be surprised. How
She's
many of them
actually-
go out for
She's
months
actually
and act-
into... Yeah, she's never coming back. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, but you'd be surprised how many of them do. They go out into the world and then they come back because they much
That
prefer
girl
it.
was like, listen,
He
I
probably
want
already
people to...
experienced a lot of it outside of the church.
He didn't... No, not him. He didn't.
No, I'm saying she did. If she went straight for thong bikinis,
No, she didn't go straight to thong bikinis. She just went to
Oh.
like a two-piece. But in the dressing rooms where like all the Amish people were, like everyone was staring at her. Because she came out of the dressing room in a two-piece bathing suit. And nobody had ever seen that before, so they were just gawking, and he did not like that.
they were
And
talking about on
she's
that
like,
radio
well,
show.
we left the the lifestyle for a reason, and you have to understand that. And he's like, well, I only did this because of you, and now you're gonna be going off and dressing like that. I wouldn't have
being
agreed
a
to that.
whore.
Yeah. He's like, I wouldn't have agreed to that. I'm like, damn.
Did you remember they were talking about on the radio show, and he said they took him to the beach, and there's just women cheeks out on the beach, and they were just all just in awe.
Well, that's kind of the thing. Like, she came out. So the first person that went in just refused to come out and dress like that. So she came out dressed conservative, like totally fine. And this girl went in and then came out in a bikini, and she was just like, yeah. Like, I look hot, right? And just like the vibe of the room was just like, ooh, this seems like it's going to be something aggressive. And it sure was.
Store is closed.
Alright, so do you want to call it here, or you want me to start ordering shit and restocking?
Oh, sorry. We can start restocking. I'll probably duck out like halfway through.
I don't want to like be in the middle of restocking. You just ditch out, and I have to sit here and do all these trucks by myself.
Well, don't restock everything then. Just some of the stuff. I feel like I have a powerful like 10, 15 minutes.
We got 3 trucks coming.
Yep.
You good? Damn.
Sorry. Just burp. Oh, missing that by one. Oh, shit. I got locked out.
you do the back wall?
No, no.
Each end cap on that row is full of it.
Flour? Well, no, this one's sugar.
Other side.
This one's
back
dog
side.
food.
Right here.
Oh, okay.
That's a nice trip.
Man. Yeah, the restocking is going to take so much.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, it's more of a later on activity.
Yeah, I'll probably do that in between working, whenever I work on videos again. And then I can edit while it's rendering, come in here, stock shelves, go back out, edit another video.
So we're good for tomorrow night? Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be here.
And Saturday?
As far as I know, I'll be here.
Okay.
My wife closes that day though, so I might, whatever we play, I might have to dip for a few seconds to get food. But
Do you still got to do your Halloween stuff, or is that done in 18?
I still have to do that, but necessary because you have until like November 11th, I think, to do it. I'm down for whatever y'all tell me.
I mean, this human fall flat VR is looking pretty interesting. But
So it's just you two. You all can do that Thursday.
oh, I think you can play with people that aren't VR.
It's a separate game, so.
Oh, is it? Mm.
Yeah.
All right, so maybe not. Maybe just continue the trucking.
Well, I gotta go pick up some $1 pumpkins tomorrow, so y'all have fun.
It's fucking gay.
Good luck.
Hope you're all rotten.
I mean, we had talked about doing some ETS at one point.
Yeah, but if I'm going to truck, I'm going to do ATS. So I can finish my runs.
Oh, okay. All right.
And
Well, I mean,
do it some other time. Like, and I'm down. But as long as the event's going on, I'd rather just do ATS to finish my run.
all right. Well, I mean, I really can't speak to my availability, but if I'm around on Saturday, I would say I'll just continue with that.
All right.
We'll see.